Well, greetings and hello there, everyone. It is I, your beloved Star Wars Dad, Nooch Too Good, and yes, we came on stream today, and we were waiting for the update, and then we waited some more, and then after that, we continued to wait, and yes, it seems like somebody at Capital Games pushed a button, and the whole thing blew up in their face. Not surprising with the size of this update and the scope of everything that's going on. It wasn't a big surprise, but the update is here upon us. I want to talk about everything you need to know about this update today. And of course, over the coming days and weeks and months, we're going to really delve in and dive in and see what is going on as we understand more and more, because it's going to take some time to really absorb and make a part of us how everything works in the game right now. So we're going to talk about the Coliseum and character upgrades and all the new currency and gear that goes along with that, because all that stuff kind of meshes together. When you start with the Coliseum, look at Stormtrooper Luke and everything that goes there to get him upgraded, it all goes together. So it's gonna be a little mishmashy on that part, but hang with me while we look at it. Then we'll take a look at the new journey quests that are in there. We've been talking a lot about these. The journey quests are going to go for the next year and give us relic characters like all of our Phoenix, all of our Commander Luke Skywalker requirements, all the Inquisitors. We'll talk about how that is looking on day one. And then finally, we talk about Relic 10 and Relic Delta hitting the game and what that looks like in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes now that the update is here. So let's get this started. You're looking at the Coliseum, and there is, what's it called? Look at the feature info, the JOTAZ. You can look over here if you click on feature info, see what's going on here with the JOTAZ, the Zepho Tomb Guardians, Dryax, and Pirate ATST, and then kind of talk about the Coliseum. You know, as you fight these guys, the less health they have, the harder they are to kill and hurt. So before we get into that, I really want to talk about first upgrading your character. But because before you go to the Coliseum, you've got to go into whatever character is active right now. That's Stormtrooper Luke. We will eventually see the, Scar Darth Vader, Asajj Ventress Pirate, and everybody else that's in there. You've got to get your character upgraded first, and the farther you upgrade that character, the more it's going to impact your team, and we'll talk about that in a moment. The cool thing is that as far as like the marquee journey itself and the offers for the marquee journey and how it works, they're all basically the same as it was before. There really weren't any changes there to, getting extra stars in the character. The Stormtrooper Luke Pack 1 and 2 still gave you a bunch of extra shards and some Zetas. I did end up purchasing those, got them to 6 stars. As you can you see it right there? Maybe not. If I click on him, I got Luke at 6 stars. He's at level 15 and whatever that means. Now, as far as leveling up, it's a very different situation. You're leveling him up inside the era itself. And you see, I've got my Luke inside the era. I'm looking at level 9 next. I'm at level 8. Now, one cool thing up here, if you click on that little information next to the level 8, you can see what that translates to in the game. So if my Stormtrooper Luke was released to my roster, like he's an era character now, he'll be a legacy character around mid-March, right? So if he was released to being a legacy, is it mid-March? Mid-February, sorry, yeah, December, January, February, yeah, mid-February, yeah. We'll get there, I promise. This would show me, right now, he would just be a gear level 2 character, and his star levels will stay the same as I've got him at right now. The star levels aren't impacted, but we can see that over time as we play the Coliseum more, as we move forward and progress, we're gonna be able to get more and more gear levels and higher levels in the game for Stormtrooper Luke. Now, there's a couple of things with these upgrades that you're looking at. One is the upgrade currency. That's up here. These are like your credits, and that's at the top right there. And you can also see them when you down here, right here, level up right there. That is your currency. It's like your credits or your shipbuilding materials for ships. That's what you've got there. It's the exact same. Over to the other side, right here, this is your gear. So just look at it that way. This is your gear. This is your credits. This is your gear, right? This is your credits. look at it that way. It'll be a little simpler to you. When I first got in there, I'm like, what is going on? And as you scroll down and look at higher levels and see what's going on, there's more and more and more gear that just keeps unfolding along the way. It looks kind of like a relic gear situation, and more credits. Now, one thing to notice, and I made this mistake, it's not 41,300 when you get here and then 44,000 here. That's cumulative. So, you know, to each one's just cumulative. But you have to get more gear unlocked and more credits as you go. And where are you doing all that? Well, you're doing a lot of it in the Coliseum. So let's go over to the Coliseum. Sorry, I should say this. As you upgrade these levels and level them up, that's when the ability upgrades come in. Stat upgrades every 5. You get your abilities upgraded, and stat upgrades in between. There's a little eye there too. You can see you go from strength 87 to 150, health 1971 to 3. I think that's if I went the whole way there. My stat upgrade to 9 is going to be 87 to 95. So it's a little more incremental as you go. If you click way down here, you can see 87 all the way up to 374. So credits, gear. Makes it much more simpler to think about. Now, where are you going to get all those credits and gear to upgrade your abilities while you are in the era itself? That's going to be in the Coliseum. But before I look at the Coliseum, let's go to our collection. The collection is going to open up to this era of Anniversary, where you can see all your characters, how many stars you got them at, and what level they are in the era. Also here, you can go up here. This is your era currency right here that you're earning. So this is one place that you're earning era currency in the game. Next reward, era total level 9, etc. So you get era currency here, and you spend era currency in the era currency shop, era shipment shop. Sorry, you've got Lightspeed tokens here, although it only goes up to a rhodium Lightspeed tokens. So this would not be relic characters on your roster. It would be, well, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I'm absolutely wrong. I apologize. Take it back. Relic tier 5, 6 stars. If you save up 5,000 of that currency, that seems like a lot with me getting 60 of it on day 1. I don't know. Well, this is one of the things we're gonna have to really feel out over time. As far as this coaxial servo motors, those are gear, relic gear that you use to take characters to Relic 10. Let me show you that. Jedi Master Luke. So if we look at Jedi Master Luke and I pull up, here's his Relic 10 stats, and I'm gonna scoot over to the side again. Let's go this way again. Move the mic out of the way. There they are, the coaxial servo motors. Is that maybe I'll go this way. It's kind of hard. This one's a little hard. Maybe I should go to the other side of this. Let me jump to the other side of the screen. Hold on. I don't know how this is gonna look when I. Okay, I'm a little bigger. I'm a little bigger now. But there's your coaxial servo motors. Coaxial servo motors. Now that makes me think of Mystery Science Theater 2, 3. 5,000? Oh, it's been too long. Servo, right? Anyway, that's what those are. Those are your Relic 10 gear pieces over there, and that's what you're looking at as far as coaxial servo motors. So that's the gear, the currency, everything else that you get. Now you're gonna get a lot of that gear and currency by climbing up in and by fighting in the Coliseum. Though over here you have tier rewards. If you beat 10% of the boss, you get these Grek ability modules. Again, this is the gear you're using. 20%, you get 50 more, etc. on down the way, and then you open crates that have more gear. So you just get more and more gear, and if you get it done at 100% down here. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but you get more gear, and then you go to tier 2, tier 3, etc. And you can see on the leaderboards right now, people in my leaderboard have this at gear 2 already. 3 people have it at gear 2. Most of us are at gear 1. I'm at rank 18 right now, and you can look over here at your rewards and see at rank 18, my daily rewards will be 500 currency. Now that matters because I do that for 10 days. I can get a Relic Lightspeed token, I guess. I'm going to back up on what I said. You know, if I can stay in the top 18, that's really going to matter. I will say this. I did spend, and I'll tell you exactly, I spent $100. I spent $30 on the first Stormtrooper loot pack, and I spent $70 on the second Stormtrooper loot pack to get him up to 6 stars. And that does matter when you're playing in the Coliseum, and you will get a higher rank. On my free-to-play account, I think I'm more like in the 61 to 90 range, so 200 of these on a daily basis. And you can see out here, if we go out here, here's your leaderboard, here's your rank rewards, daily Coliseum rewards. Yeah, we were just in there. So, and then you can look at what your guild's doing, who's doing best in your guild, and then global rankings as well. Nip pull, congratulations on your, what is that, a Relic 10? Commander Luke, Stormtrooper Luke, holy cow, dude. You just killed everybody. Like, this is not a similar score. This is not... This 10,000 up to 140,000, I guess Nip Pull did the whole thing in one day. So congratulations to you, my friend. Good lordy. Anyway, you go in there and play. So let's talk about the battles a little bit. By now, you played the battle. I don't want to go over the details of it, but you're going to strategize this and figure out the best strategies. From what I could see, it seemed to me that in this opening team, Asajj was kind of the best character, and I wanted to get more turns to Stormtrooper Luke because he calls everybody to assist, which is going to get me more damage in this battle. The important thing to note here, and the thing that I really noticed and really kind of weighed with me was... Your Stormtrooper Luke scaling, affects the scaling of the rest of the team. So for me, since I was able to get him to 6 stars, the rest of the team also scaled up with him, and I was able to get more points out of this event. And when I played it free to play, I was not getting, see this 20% I just got to? I wasn't able to get to 20% with my free to play roster. So something to keep in mind, the more you can scale Luke. So there is still a spending opponent. You're playing a mobile game. You had to expect there's gonna be, I know some people like in my chat were like, oh, so it's still if you spend money. Yeah, still if you spend money, you do better. And then somebody said, well, it's the death of free to play. And that's just wrong. It's an overreaction. It's not true. It's actually, if you look at the difference here of me, I'm gonna sit here and play with these characters every day for the next 3 months, right? I'm gonna play with these characters every day for the next 3 months, and then a new set of characters every day for the following 3 months, etc. Every era, I'm gonna be playing with these characters on a daily basis as we go through the eras. Previously, like for instance, I unlocked Forlam a couple weeks ago, and I unlocked Zuckuss. I didn't spend any money on those guys. They're sitting at 3 stars, and even if I had, I would have nowhere to use them unless I'd already taken them to 7 stars and high relic levels. Now I get to play around these characters, see what they're doing. Yeah, they're at low levels right now, and I don't get the full feel for exactly what they're doing. It does save your high score, and your high score is what goes into the leaderboards. And the leaderboards is what impacts your rewards over here as far as your gear, and over here as far as where you end up the day and get your currency. Where else are you gonna earn, or where are you gonna earn like the currency for upgrading your characters? Well, a lot of that is in the episode track. If you look here, about every 3 or 4 days, here's currency, here it is here, 1,500, 1,500, 1,500, 1,500, 2,000, 2,000, then we get up to 4,000, 4,000, 4,000. If you get all the way to the end in your bonus rewards, you're gonna get more of that currency that you need to upgrade your era level characters while they are still active in the era. I think there's only one thing of currency up here at the top. So yeah, you don't get a lot of currency on the top row. It's all in the free to play bottom row is where you get most of that currency to upgrade these characters. So we will see how this plays out over time. We did a little bit of math, but it really was hard to keep up with, and without really seeing the entirety of these era journeys and traveling through an entire era so far, it was hard for me to grasp. I'll just be honest, I really couldn't. I'm a little tired, by the way. Sorry, we streamed for 6 hours today. Best stream we've ever had, and it wasn't close. Thank you all so much for your support. But we're gonna have to take this over time and see how it works out as we develop all these characters: the Stormtrooper Luke, Damaged Vader, Asajj Pirate, etc., Barriss, Inquisitor, Choda, and IG. Now, we'll see how that works out over time as we develop these characters and push forward in this first era in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. I think that covers most of the currency. Let me see if I'm missing out on anything. I think I've got all that covered where it all is. Oh, you can also buy the currency, I should say. There's an era store where you can pay cash to get up to 280,000 currency here. You can probably buy that multiple times. I didn't look. It doesn't say only once or only twice. I don't know. But you can buy the currency as well. I'm sure that the guy that had 140,000 points spent a lot of time in this shop for sure. So if you want to just straight up buy it and push that character forward all the way, Congratulations. We were told by the developers, by the way, I'll say this, we were told by the devs that if you play in the Coliseum every day, you should walk out with these characters at the end of the era at gear 12. So you should be able to get to level 65 on each character. Again, I don't know exactly what that looks like yet. We've got a little bit of time in front of us, so we'll be playing that out. And trust me, you're going to see a lot of content on this new Coliseum and how it plays out over the course of the game for the next several months, for sure. Absolutely. Let's talk about the new journey quest. At the beginning, these are a little confusing. It's not really laid out clearly in front of you, but this is where they are. When we look at the, let me pull it up here. I think I've got it in here. Yeah, there we go. So when we look at the Lightspeed token farming guide, I made this Lightspeed token farming guide where you can see that initially you're going to get Hera and Sabine at relic levels starting today. Or yesterday when you're watching this, and then 2 weeks later we'll have access to Ezra and Chopper, and then when you get all that done, you'll be able to get Rex and Palpatine and a Rebel Lightspeed token where you can choose yada yada yada. It wasn't immediately clear. It's kind of hard to find where that is, but it's right here in Journey Quests, under your quest, Journey Quests, and you've got these quests to do. The first set of quests was use any Luke 10 times and get 10 Zetas, which is pretty nice, except CLS didn't work. Actually, you had to win. You had to win a battle with any Luke in the game. I threw all 4 Lukes out there and just went after it because when I found out CLS didn't work, I got mad and I pushed my head through a wall and I said, here, if that doesn't work, take one of these, please. I think every other Luke works. Farm Boy Luke for sure works. You can throw him in a battle and just do it. So win 10 times with him. Then it was to land, oh dear. It was to land, let me look it up here. Okay, brain shut down, could not, vulnerable. Holy crap. You have to land vulnerable, it was 100 times, and when you landed vulnerable 100 times, you got that Hera Lightspeed token. If you already have Hera at relic levels, you're getting Kyratex and salvage pieces, somewhat to the tune of like I think it's the challenge tier 1. No, the tier before challenge tier 1, you're getting these salvage pieces, a bunch of them, like 60 each, and you're getting some Kyratex. If you already had Hera, that's what you're gonna get in rewards for that. If you didn't have Hera, you'll get Hera at relic at gear 13, relic 0, so to speak, for those Lightspeed tokens. Basically, with these quests, what's gonna be interesting is for established accounts like mine, I could take out Jedi Knight Luke, or what really came down to was Boss Nass can do this on his own, really easily. He doesn't do any damage. He just sits there and just launches vulnerable over and over and over and over again until he gets it done. There are a lot of ways for deeper rosters to get vulnerable. For brand new rosters, it's a little more challenging. You're gonna have to look at borrowing characters, like maybe have them throw Boss Nass out there for you. You know, if they use Boss Nass as a lead, then you can borrow Boss Nass, or you have to go farm characters that do have vulnerable. If you want to look that up, the way to do it would be to go to I'm sorry, you didn't need to, just Google vulnerable SWGOH. The first link is from swgoh.gg, says vulnerable characters. You pull it up. These are all your characters that can land vulnerable. This works for anything. Foresight SWGOH. Oh, you can't see this, sorry. Here we go. Foresight SWGOH. Let me do that again. Vulnerable SWGOH. Just do a search. The first link there, vulnerable characters. You pull it up. These are all the characters that can land vulnerable. Now you gotta look at their kits, because some of them, like Great Mothers, and just do a Control F, vulnerable. There you go. I found it. The problem is that she does land vulnerable, but here it says, if the enemy had vulnerable, whenever a vulnerable enemy starts its turn, like that's not landing vulnerable. That's just talking about the impact if they had vulnerable. And up here, it is landing vulnerable if they're doomed, but when you look at it closer, come on. Come on, kid. You got to have the Zeta on there to get that. So, and there are other ones that are just saying they resist vulnerable. So you got to be careful. Just because it says vulnerable doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So some newer accounts, if you don't get the borrows that you need in there, you can use a character like Iden Versio. She's a pretty easy farm. Get her unlocked at 3 stars or 2 or 3 stars. Throw out there at low levels and just launch her AoE. It lands vulnerable on everybody. The same for Mara Jade. Her base or her special does vulnerable. So there's other ways to get vulnerable vulnerable, even if you're not borrowing characters. He's got to be a little creative and look through these kits and find out. I think that Iden Versio was the cleanest way. Somebody else had a CX2. If you had Forlom's actually not a very good one, because they have to be stunned, then he can land vulnerable. When they have qualifiers like that, like Mob Enforcer, if they already have defense down, she lands vulnerable. Nah, no thanks. That doesn't help me much at all. There's Boss Nass. He's got a really good one. CX2, if you had him, like when you farm clones. Let's see here. Gungan Phalanx. Grand Inquisitor is a good one if you have him. Just AoE everybody, and it's all vulnerable across the board. So there's a lot of ways to get vulnerable. If you're early game, I think Iden Versio is your easiest farm, and Mara Jade. One of the big challenges here is not just getting the character that lands vulnerable, but if you're borrowing a character and they're relic levels and they land vulnerable, depending on where you use them in the game to try and cheese it, you might be killing all the characters on screen because they're such low level, and then you don't get credit for it at that point. One place people have been cheesing that so far on night 1 is to go to the journeys. Like if you take a low level Mara Jade and Iden Versio and you go into like this mode here, and you go into, well, this is a couple of things. Go to the Thrawn journey. Well, you can't take it in the Thrawn journey, sorry. Mara Jade and Iden Versio can go in the R2 journey. Pardon me, everybody. You take them in the R2 journey at low levels. You get out there, you land your vulnerables, good to go 4 or 5 times. You don't have to spend any energy to do it. The journey seemed like a really good way to cheese this kind of stuff. Right now, my account is on this journey quest. Defeat 50 Imperial Troopers with any version of Harrison Dula present. Well, that is in that Thrawn journey. There are a lot of Imperial Troopers. I think it's 11. If you go to the final tier of the Imperial or Admiral Thrawn journey, it's 11 Imperial Troopers every time. As long as you have Harrison Dula, maybe just put your Phoenix out there. You can just run through that thing without even looking at it. It's easy, and you do that 5 times. Boom, you get through this, and then you got Sabine Wren, which is something else with I don't remember exactly. So. These, I think, are going to be relatively easy to unlock. You just have to find the right strategy or get the right partners again with characters you can borrow, like Boss Nass or other vulnerable characters. And then you got to use them in the right place where they don't just wipe out the other team. They actually have to try to land the debuffs or do the thing while those characters are alive. This is going to keep changing. This will continue to modify. One really important thing to keep in mind, it's 2 weeks in between launches. So we get 2 characters, 2 weeks. 2 characters, 2 weeks. So I got 2 weeks to finish these before I even get new characters. And technically speaking, I've got a year to finish these. So this isn't a rush. I mean, I can get it all done on day 1. You don't have to rush through these to get these Omicrons and then the next one to get Sabine and you don't have to rush through them. You've got time. So don't panic if you didn't get it all done today. You've got plenty of time. You're going to be okay. All right, now let's talk about Relic 10 and Relic Delta. Relic 10, my first impressions, much like Relic 9, I think the biggest impact, here you can see my Relic 9 Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt is a support. He's going to get some mastery. He's going to get about 4,700 health. He's going to get about 5,000 protection, some potency, some tenacity. I think they all get this potency and tenacity. They get some accuracy, etc. My initial impression, and we will see, is that the biggest impact is once again on the tanks. My Jedi Master Luke, who's a tank, goes from 34,000 health to 43,000. That's like 8,300 health. 8,400, 8,300, 8,300. Protection goes up 13,000. So 21,000 health protection added on to a tank. And with that protection with Jedi Master Luke, we know that when he feeds that protection around and uses Jedi lessons, everybody on his team is gaining lots of damage from that protection too. So again, there's that potency and tenacity. There's that accuracy they're all going to gain some armor as well, some crit avoidance. That's an extra 12% crit avoidance. It looks good. It's going to be good on everybody. It's going to be good on everybody, and we will see. I'm not saying that we are where we're going to end up, and maybe I'm proved wrong. But it looks to me like the damage on Rey goes up from 3,500 to 3,800. That's about a let's see here. 10% would be 300, so it's like an 8% increase on the damage, and the special damage is about 12%. That's not nothing. I'm not saying that's nothing, right? She doesn't get the accuracy. There's no accuracy upgrade here for her. No, I'm sorry. She's Relic 8. I keep forgetting. She's Relic 8. I'm sorry. Hang on. I don't have any attackers at Relic 9. Now I do. Okay. So Ray at Relic 9, there's that accuracy. I'm like, there's the accuracy, potency, tenacity. It's all there as well. Her health is going to go up 2,000, 2,400. Protection is going to go up 3,000. Crit damage goes up 1.5%. The damage goes up. This is even lower. That's like 140. That's like less. That's like 4%, 3.5%, 4%. Her special damage goes up more than that. Crit chance goes up 11%. But even she's not really a crit chance kind of gal. I think this is better for tanks. Now, maybe that is to keep in mind with Relic Delta is Relic Delta is all about doing more damage at higher relic levels. So maybe that's why we get the benefit more for the tanks than the attackers. I don't know. We'll see in the long run. But right now, it looks like Relic 10, when combined with, well, it just looks like Relic 10 is better for tanks than it is for supports or attackers, right? So that's what it looks like to me. I don't know. We'll be testing this out in the weeks to come. We're going to get our Relic 10s here pretty quickly on our rosters. By the way, go to the web store. There's a calendar there. It's pretty awesome. I don't think it was available in game. So log into the web store, get that calendar. I can show you that calendar. That's where you get your first. That's where you get your first Relic 10. Here it is, anniversary bonus calendar. There's my what are they called, coaxial servo motors, enough to go to Relic 10, and my 15 corrupted signal data. That's enough to go to Relic 10 as well. The Relic 10 material is available here in the Guild Activity Store. Oh, let me get these. You can see that you can get it here for the Mark III currency. Is that a good trade-off? I don't know yet. I think it probably is, but I don't know yet. So I'll address it over time when we take a little bit more look at the math and see what's going on. And you can also scavenge it over here with your existing signal data. That's going to be interesting because I know signal data is kind of one of the roadblocks at the end of the game. And you can, you know, droid brains are now, you can scavenge those as well with your Chirotech. A lot of late game players are really going to enjoy this because you have a lot of extra Chirotech lying around on their roster. Relic Delta. Now here's the funny thing. I'm just gonna do a campaign battle here. Let's go to Dark Side battles. No, let's go get us some signal data. Okay, let's go over here, and I'm gonna go to we're gonna go to the green signal data, right? So if I battle that, and I'm gonna borrow whatever Grievous. That's fine. And then let's just say that I put in Jedi Master Luke. That should do it fine. Watch what happens in the battle. You can see the Relic Delta already showing up in this game mode. And we're going to be testing this in every game mode going forward. Look at that, -9. -9. There's your Relic Delta. This Tusken Raider is -9 relics on my Relic 9 Jedi Master Luke. So he's going to do an extra, what is it, 75% damage. We're going to take an extra 85% damage, whatever it is. Sit down, see you later, have a nice day. I hope you should have stopped shooting at our pods or whatever. So you're going to see that Relic Delta up there. It's showing up already in territory battles. Territory wars, which are going. So it's already showing up in territory wars. I'm told. I didn't take a look at it yet myself. This is going to make a huge difference, and I'm going to be streaming my new account tomorrow. I also do want to come out and do some testing of the assault battle that's coming out tomorrow. We'll take a look at that in a second. I want to see with that assault battle, if I go in with a bunch of crap and one relic for Piet or something, if he just kind of walks all over it, we're going to test out those assault battles to see how they work with Relic Delta. And the first one up to test is going to be Forest Moon. If I'd have left this one open, I could have tested it today, but I didn't really think about it. But Forest Moon, will do some testing tomorrow when I'm live to see how Relic Delta is performing there. Again, I'm going to go in light with like a crappy team with one real big Relic character and see what that looks like in the Forest Moon Assault Battle while I'm here starting my brand new account. Actually, it'll be today when you guys are watching this. I'm talking about tomorrow. It'll be today. We'll test out that Assault Battle. I'm going to start my new account today, farming Leia Organa free to play. Everybody, that's everything we know so far about the 10-year anniversary update in the Coliseum with the era characters, how to upgrade them, Relic Delta, Relic 10, and our character journeys, or whatever we're calling journey quests for those Lightspeed tokens. I hope everybody has a day. Aiden, Noel, thanks for subscribing. I appreciate you. Everybody, I hope you have a great day. I look forward to talking to you very soon. And of course, always remember, Nooch too good.